Hello everyone, this is Michael with the general reading for Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for December 2019. Hello and welcome, whether you're watching this video for yourself or cross-watching for another individual with Virgo placements. I just want to start off by thanking all of you who have liked this channel, or supported this channel, with your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. It's because of all of you that I'm able to continue putting out these messages and doing this incredible work, which is just an absolute gift to me, so thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Before we actually go into the reading, I do just want to give a quick announcement that I am going to be taking down my readings and Reiki sessions temporarily, so if you're looking to get a personal service with me, those are going to be coming up later on in the week. I'm actually going to be offering my services at a discounted rate. I'm going to do 20% off for the holidays, and I'm also going to be doing a giveaway on my Instagram. So if you haven't already, definitely be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any announcements for this month or the future. And I also have links for my social media down below, links for my Instagram, Facebook, website, all of that good stuff. I also do blog posts and general cards for the collective. So there's a lot of different things to keep on your radar with me. I also like to start off these readings with a brief astrological report, kind of an energy update before we go into the actual reading, but I recognize that not everyone is into that, so if you want to skip ahead straight to the reading, I will invite someone in the comment section down below to leave a timestamp that jumps straight ahead, but we do have a really big month for December, so I definitely recommend at least listening to part of it. Or, you know, I guess if you already heard it from another reader or read it online, you don't really need to sit through it. But I think it's always good just to kind of get the perspective of the reader, where they're sort of coming from. And December is really going to be an interesting month. I actually feel like we kind of need to review November for just a minute because we did have a really intense Mercury retrograde with Mercury going through Scorpio. We, as Virgos, I'm a Virgo as well, our ruling planet is Mercury, so we are really affected when it goes retrograde. And, you know, last month was a really intense one because Scorpio, very intense energy, it was very emotional. Personally, I didn't really notice anything in my day-to-day life that had really gone horribly wrong. I mean, there were some things, but I couldn't like directly attribute it to the Mercury retrograde. And it wasn't even until the post-shadow period, like right after it stationed direct, on the 20th of November, that I really started to kind of feel just how exhausted I actually was. I was so worn down, and I had noticed like other people around me were really getting slammed with the Mercury retrograde, and I was like, huh, that's weird. I guess I'm just not being affected by it. And we did also have Neptune go direct at the end of November as well, which can make us kind of default onto unhealthy behaviors, old patterns that no longer serve us, maybe even addictions for those of you who struggle with that. And it can just be kind of a challenging time. And I think it was those two things that personally threw me off, because for the last couple of weeks, I was just not feeling well. I was completely out of whack. My rhythm was totally off. I felt like I kind of relapsed into some old behaviors of my own. I was like up super late. I felt like I was practically nocturnal, and it was not really serving me. But I think now I kind of got it under wraps. Mercury finally got out of that post-shadow phase yesterday on the 7th, so we are in the clear for now. So I do hope that that's coming as some relief. And, you know, I think this month is actually going to be pretty decent for Virgos. It was pretty good for Taurus, so I'm hoping for the earth signs. We're kind of in the same boat, but we'll see with the cards. Jupiter actually did go direct in Jupiter entered Capricorn on December 2nd, and a lot of people were a bit nervous about that, because Jupiter is our expansion, it's our luck, it's opportunity. And when you have planets moving through Capricorn, there's a bit of restriction. Capricorn is kind of this patriarchal, paternal figure who's not just going to give you something. If you want a puppy, you have to earn it. You have to show that you're responsible. You have to wake up on time. You have to show that you're going to feed the dog and take care of it properly before you actually receive it. So kind of keep that in mind with Capricorn. Sometimes it does sort of test you like that. There may be some tests throughout the month, But honestly, being a fellow Earth sign, we actually really work quite well with this energy. And all of these planets that are moving through Capricorn are moving through our 5th house, which is a really fun time. It's a time of pleasure, perhaps even dating. And it's kind of funny because Capricorn season can be really heavy for a lot of people, but I actually feel like Virgos tend to do pretty well with it. Of course, we are still in Sagittarius season for the first part of December, but we do have a lot of planets that are already moving through Capricorn right now, and we're going to have over half of the solar system hanging out in the sign by the end of the month. So a lot of energy. And, you know, Capricorn is kind of been challenged. We do have Saturn that's been hanging out there, as well as Pluto, for over a year now. Both of those planets are what are called malefics. They can really test that energy. They can really... It's very similar to the Capricorn energy. Saturn and Capricorn are pretty much interchangeable in that way. You know, there's a lot of tests, and things might not have been super easy for us. Maybe creativity-wise, maybe dating-wise, we've just not been having a lot of fun. As Virgos, we've been very hard work, no play. And even if we're working on creativity, I almost feel like we've been going through a lot of personal transformation and a lot of tumult with Pluto hanging out there. And if you feel like you're just putting in all this energy and you're not getting any payout, or you're not getting any relief or good times, well, I do feel like that is going to turn around with Jupiter now coming in and giving us this break. So it's actually kind of a good thing. I know a lot of people, again, they're worried about Jupiter hanging out in Capricorn. I don't think it's going to be that bad of a thing. I actually think it's going to provide a lot of relief for what we've been going through. And honestly, you know, with Jupiter being in Sagittarius, that isn't exactly a compatible sign with us. It is squared. So Jupiter wasn't necessarily working very well with us anyway. And that's not to say we didn't have any luck throughout 2019. It's not to say that we didn't have any expansion or growth, but it did kind of grate against us, even though there was a lot of opportunities for the collective, because Jupiter is very comfortable in Sagittarian energy. There's almost a tendency to do things to excess. And being in the 4th house, that might have to do with family, that might have to do with home. Maybe you've been a bit of a homebody, maybe you've been too relaxed, maybe there's just been too much going on there, because Jupiter can be very expansive, but it can also run into excess or overindulgence. So stuff to kind of keep in mind. Nothing's ever all good or all bad in astrology. Everything has its positive and negative. And I do feel like Jupiter moving into Capricorn is actually going to be a really good thing for us Virgos. So I hope you're excited for that. We do also have the eclipse on December 26th. That is an annular solar eclipse. It's going to be the 4th degree in Capricorn, so if you want to figure out how that is going to affect your life personally, you can pull up your natal chart. I actually have a natal chart calculator down below that can help you draw that out. You just need your birth date and time and location, and it will draw that up for you. And wherever that 4th degree in Capricorn is, kind of right at the beginning of Capricorn energy, that is where the eclipse is going to occur. And if you have any planets there, those planets are really going to be quite activated by this eclipse. And if you have, if you don't have any planets, you can just look at the house it's going to be affecting and see what's happening there for you. Now, for a lot of my Virgos, if you're a Virgo rising, that would be 5th house for you, but it could actually be your 4th house as well. It's all just going to really depend on your chart, but I'm just going to talk about it like it's a 5th house thing. But with this eclipse, it's going to be... Eclipses are not necessarily easy times either. I don't think December is going to be without its bumps in the road. The weeks leading up to and following the eclipse window, so that's the solar and lunar eclipse, which is going to be happening on January 10th, there can be sudden losses. There can be endings. It's kind of closing out one cycle and beginning a new cycle. And while I don't want anyone to freak out, if you feel like there's just a lot of intense energy for December, know that the eclipse is just kind of clearing out your life right now, and it's actually going to be a beneficial thing for you in the long run. And there's actually a really strong window for manifestation with this specific eclipse, because we do actually have a conjunction with Jupiter again. So Jupiter is a really big player this month, and it is going to be a single degree off from the eclipse, which is incredible. So there's a lot of expansiveness, and if you don't work with the law of attraction or the lunar cycles, this would be a really good time to start, because again, setting an intention or creating a manifestation, there is a very high likelihood that that will come in, and it's really opening a wide window of opportunities for us. So that's a really, really exciting time. And being in our 5th house or even our 4th house, there's so much potential for, you know, joy and fun and creativity and dating and passion and all of these Leonian things that are so lovely. So really get into that joy. In fact, that's actually a very beautiful place to manifest from, just focusing on how you want to feel. Sometimes we get so caught up in the specifics, and we don't actually really know what we want or what would actually make us feel good. We kind of just, it's almost like an ego trip. But I do think that this December is going to be a really interesting month for us. Now, I am going to jump into the cards here. I'm really, really curious to see what they have to say. As I am shuffling, I just want to give a friendly reminder that this is a general reading, meaning not all of the messages that come forward are going to be meant for you specifically. Use your own intuition and discernment to figure out what applies to your own life and what should be left behind for someone else. You may find that the energies or the roles in this reading are switched. If there is another person, they may actually be more embodying your own energy, or vice versa. Especially if you're cross-watching for Virgo, you could be coming up as the other person. You may even just be getting messages that are meant for people in your life. They may not even be for you at all. So keep that in mind as well. If this video does not resonate or you'd like greater clarity, you are more than welcome to take a look at the videos for your moon, rising, or Venus sign. If you don't know what those are, again, there is a natal chart calculator in the description box down below that should be able to help you figure those out. And I also have love and relationship readings. It is my series called Heart of the Matter. It's all one playlist because those messages are actually timeless. So you can either look at the most recent videos for your signs, or you can look through previous months and see if anything else pops out at you, and just follow your intuition on that. Is there anything else? I feel like that's pretty much everything. And you know, with these general readings too, don't get too caught up on the time frames or the zodiac signs. It's really just the best way that this energy is being expressed right now, and it's just going to be different for everybody. So, you know, just take the messages that apply and leave the rest behind. So what do we have for Virgo here? A big block. Let's try that again. We're going to be looking at the energy coming into December. So this is what's been going on for you in November, maybe even further back, because we are in kind of a larger window of time with the eclipse here. What are the messages for my Virgos, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus? I'm not even getting any cards, but it feels kind of heavy, actually. I'm kind of sad. It's almost like I want to cry. Show me clearly. Interesting. They want me to start with the animal card first. And then we'll go into the regular spread. What is the animal wisdom for Virgo? What is going on for Virgos? There we go. So we have hummingbird and peacock here. A lot of beautiful energy. And I feel like Virgo, this feels kind of like a perspective game. You really need to be mindful of what you're focused on. And with hummingbird, it's like, where are you getting your energy from? Have you been tapping into that? I'm getting a lot of creativity here. I almost get the feeling like there's a good chunk of you in this group who do some sort of expressive art as well with Peacock. You know, something like acting or music or something like that. I do feel like it's really important for you to be creative. There was also some situations where you kind of had to be the bigger person with Peacock here. It kind of represents this advanced soul, someone who is very comfortable in themselves and doesn't take what other people say personally. Peacock recognizes that everyone's just going through their own thing. We're all just kind of projecting onto each other. And it's about really finding that peace within you, that beauty within you. I'm really curious, what are these cards? What are the cards for Virgo? Coming into the month of November here. Someone's holding back big time. There we go. Okay, Virgo. We have the Devil. The King of Swords with the Death card in reverse. And the Hanged Man in reverse. This is also clarified with the Hierophant and the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, I definitely feel that heavy energy with the Devil here. Some of you may feel really stuck. And it feels like just being stuck in your life in general. Like you don't know what to do. You don't know how to go forward. There may be people who are kind of power tripping in your life. They may be a bit domineering or controlling. This could be a work situation. I actually feel like that's the case for a few of you. But it could very well be romance as well, or a family situation. This is really showing up in your day-to-day life, this Devil energy. So it can really be a lot of different things. But whatever it's coming from, it's really affecting your life overall. And you're feeling really heavy, held back coming into the month of December. And this is where your energy was. So hopefully you're moving out of this. This could very well be Capricorn energy. And it feels like there's this strong front with the King of Swords, but Death card in reverse. It's like, I feel like you're having a hard time letting something go. Could be this Capricorn energy, could also be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, could even be Capricorn, Aquarius, cusp situation, person, or Scorpio energy too. We have a lot of different cards on the table really, but I'm getting a lot of earth and air. And this Death card really does feel like you kind of had to make a head over heart decision. It wasn't easy. And I almost wonder if that's why I wanted to cry, but I feel like I couldn't even if I wanted to. in a way, Virgo, I think some people actually looked at you like this devil energy. Because there's a lot of guardedness with your heart. Hanged Man in reverse. Sometimes this represents getting yourself unstuck, but honestly, Virgo, with the energy on the table and with the clarification, this feels a lot more like you're really stuck on something. You're still trying to work on something here. Work together. And this person doesn't seem to have your best interest at heart. And with the Hierophant, this can feel very similar to devil energy, interestingly enough, because it can feel very suffocating for some people. Feeling very stuck. Like you can't move. You're bound by tradition. You're bound by bureaucracy. Could also be Taurus energy too. Some of you are actually seeking help. I almost want to say from a group or a person you don't normally speak to or connect with. I definitely feel like there's this connecting with spirituality in some way and working with that. Some of you may actually be banding together with other people, almost rising against this oppressive energy here. But it's not even really about that either. I think you know you need to take care of your spirit in this situation with these animal cards. Going back to these two really quickly. You don't need to say your truth to this person because you already embody it. And some of you are really trying to make something work. You're looking for outside help to make something work. But I almost feel like you kind of need to let it go, Virgo. With that Death card in reverse and the Hanged Man in reverse, there's a lot of stuck energy there. And that kind of reminds me of this Neptune energy that we were talking about earlier, which is actually Hanged Man energy. Some of you really did. Some of you may actually have relapsed. Some of you may have really fallen back into some unhealthy behaviors or unhealthy patterns or relationships or something. And you needed to let that go. You had a hard time letting that go. Okay, interesting. I'm really, really curious to see what we have now for the first part of December. Oh my god, this reading is so long already. I was hoping this would be a quick one. I feel like those are always the longest. Let's see. Okay, it's looking a little better already. Let's see, what are the messages for Virgo for this first part of December? That was heavy shit. I had to go slow through that. There was no rushing through that. What are the messages for Virgo? First part of December. Okay. So we do have the King of Cups and the Six of Cups coming out together. Some healing. Emotional maturity. Really, really good. Okay. I like that. We do have a Knight of Swords in reverse. And the King of Pentacles in the reverse as well. So I feel like there's a lot of healing that is happening for you at the start of this month, perhaps involving a water sign. Could be that Scorpio or Pisces energy we talked about earlier. It feels like old energy, past energy with the Six of Cups, or just reconnecting to old feelings, nostalgia. I actually feel like a lot of you are coming across as this King of Cups. Very compassionate, intuitive, wise, sensitive, reflective. Knight of Swords in reverse is kind of interesting. I actually do want to clarify this, but before I do that, I also just want to notice that we have the Wheel of Fortune here at the bottom of the deck. This is the second time. It was at the bottom of the deck in the first row, so kind of haunting us here. Wheel of Fortune is about the turning of the cycle, turning of the wheel. I believe it was for the Libra reading, but the message was kind of like you never really go backwards. You're always going forwards. Even if you stumble or even if you relapse, it's kind of an illusion because we grow in spirals. We're always expanding and coming back to these points and seeing things from a higher angle. It's cyclical, but the growth is still occurring. The expansion is still occurring. I feel like there's a lot of cycles that you're running through here. Ace of Cups in the reverse, clarified with this Knight of Swords in reverse. Interesting. Virgo, I actually feel like for some of you, someone is trying to offer you an apology. Or reach out to you, or try and make things right, and you're just kind of guarded here. Could also be swapped. Could very well be reversed, but I'm almost feeling like this is you being guarded because of getting hurt in the past with this Knight of Swords. And even though there's healing that's taking place, there's this exchange that's happening here. I still feel like you're not quite taking the cups. Someone isn't taking this yet. King of Pentacles in the reverse. Again, a lot of earth sign energy here. They keep saying loss of stability. It actually almost feels like someone around you, though. It could be you, but I almost feel like it's someone you're connecting to. Maybe it's both. But someone is feeling really unstable. And maybe that's why you're kind of guarded to this. It's like, are they just trying to reconnect the past, the familiar? Because they're trying to find some semblance of stability or security that we once had. That could be romance, that could be family member too, or a friend. Interesting energy. I really feel like, Virgo, you're trying to be the bigger person. You don't want to be reckless again. But you're guarded. What is going on? Animal wisdom. for Virgos? What advice do you have for Virgos? All the healing. Okay, we have frog and dragonfly. Water element is very, very healing for you in the first part of December. You know, being by water, taking baths, anything to do with water will be very healing for you. And I do feel like it's funny, you know, we were talking about the past, and even though frog, you know, it starts off as a tadpole and it leaves the pond, it still sticks around. And it will go back from time to time. I feel like some of you are really revisiting the past. You're healing things from the past. But with Dragonfly energy, this is also very similar to the Knight of Swords energy. This has been a really popular combo in these readings, Dragonfly and Knight of Swords. And Knight of Swords just kind of charges in. There's a lot of movement. It can almost be a little senseless. Your mind might be racing a lot. You might just kind of be all over the place mentally or emotionally with Dragonfly energy. Could also be physically too, you know, changing directions, constantly trying to move around. Although for you, Virgo, this feels much more internal, if I'm being honest, because I don't see a ton of action cards. I see kind of this slowing down. And I think it's important for you to slow down your thoughts, catch your breath, and really be mindful. How are your emotions affecting your perceptions here? Your mind is kind of like water. You're very watery for the first part of December. And water can be very reflective and very clear, but it can also be very wobbly and shaky, and there can be, and it can be distorted. So be very aware of your state of mind, and be sure to meditate and to deep breathe. Especially if you feel like things are happening really quickly or you're just kind of all over the place. Trying to catch up here with the wheel that keeps spinning. Take some moments for yourself. We're going to pull a last row here. This is going to be looking at the second half of December, maybe even beyond for some of you. Again, don't get too caught up in these time frames. It's just kind of the way the energy is flowing. And we're going to be looking at the eclipse here. What are the messages for Virgo? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Interesting. So we have the Well, which is a unique card to this deck. The Eight of Cups. And the Page of Wands. So the Eight of Cups and the Well combo here actually kind of reminds me of the start of this reading when we were talking about hummingbird needing to find its source of mana, needing to find the nectar, the sweetness in life. I almost feel like some of you are retreating. You're going within to find that. I feel like some people are also coming to you, and it's really important that you take the time to replenish yourself. Some of you are definitely walking away, moving on. It really feels more like taking space, though. I'm not so much getting a sense of an ending, it feels more just like you reconnecting with yourself here and what's really important. It's like you said and done what you needed to do. There's almost this feeling of like contentment. It doesn't feel happy. It doesn't feel sad. It's just like, I did what I needed to do. And now I'm going to take care of myself. And this Page of Wands here, I think this one actually kind of came out perfectly sideways. I think you're trying to figure out what the next step is for you. What it is that you care about. Maybe you've lost track of that or lost sight of that because you've been so wrapped up in healing some sort of situation or trying to bring healing and resolve to a situation. Some of you are actually retreating to think about this more. You're still trying to figure out what to do. But again, you know, this Eight of Cups it's different from the traditional, some of the other cards anyway. Not necessarily the traditional Eight of Cups because I think it's the same thing. You'll notice that these are still standing. These 8 cups are still here. In some decks, these cups are toppled over or even shattered. It's like what you want isn't here. I'm not necessarily getting that sense. It just seems like retreat. And there's a lot of creativity. I really feel like this is a creative time for you because the well represents creativity, a wellspring of ideas, as does the Page of Wands. I'm going to pull one more animal card for you, Virgo. We have the deer and the lion. Yeah, you're taking space to rejuvenate, to replenish yourself. I feel like there's actually something about spring. You know there's something coming in the spring by the end of the month, or maybe in January. That's coming up with deer. And it's really important for you to reconnect to nature and kind of retreat. Nature is super, super healing for you, Virgo. And I'm in upstate New York. It's super cold. It's very snowy, but it's still important to get outside, even if you're just, you know, touching trees. I like to be barefoot, but obviously I'm not going to be able to do that this time of year. But nature is very healing to you, as are animals. And even children. Children is actually a theme for some of you as well with that Six of Cups. And this Lion card, there really is a need to meditate and also to find people who can support you. Sometimes the lion's curse is that it appears so strong, so capable. And people don't even realize that it's hurting. Lion actually has a very big heart. It's very sensitive and very loving. But some people don't see that either. So don't be embarrassed to speak up or to reach out or to just let people know, like, I'm just going through a lot and I need to kind of take some time. What's going on, because they might get the wrong idea. I want to pull one more card. I want to clarify this Eight of Cups. King of Wands. There could actually be a Leo that you're kind of stepping away from for a moment here. But I really do feel like this is about you getting back in touch with your own power. And you're thinking a lot. You're very contemplative. I feel like you're kind of looking back, you're looking forward. Very appropriate for a new year. Some of you are having kind of a spiritual awakening. And there's a lot of fun. There's a lot of fire. I don't feel like that's the end of December for you, though. I feel like that's a little further out. And it's like right now, it's actually you thinking about what brings you joy. And that's such a Virgo thing. It's like, what does bring me joy? What makes me happy? I don't know. But I think that is really important for you to connect with. Something just feels incomplete. I'm going to pull a color healing card. Maybe you're not supposed to know. Maybe you need to reflect on this for yourself. What is the healing color for Virgo? Show me clearly. Rainbow. Connect to spirit in nature. Okay, now we're just getting the same messages over and over again. I am going to read this from the book. However, you're welcome to use this rainbow energy in whatever way feels intuitive or natural to you. Some of you are definitely doing energy work or need to do some energy work as well. So let's see what this says here. Rainbow ray is a powerful combination of colors together, making it a very powerful and regenerating energy to work with. Rainbow allows you to lighten up and feel happier and more alive. It also is the mystical realm, connecting you to spirit, fairies, angels, and your creativity. Allow rainbow rays to lead you into the realm of fairies. Go to a park, look around, and find a tree that attracts you. Stand still and focus within, feeling the tree's pull as it beckons you. Walk over to the tree and place your arms around it. Feel its connection to the earth, to the other trees, and to the world. Allow some of the tree's divine energy to pour into your body. Walk around the park, smell the flowers, and listen to the birds singing. Smile as you take in the beauty of nature. Visualize a rainbow and allow it to bathe your body, strengthening your connection to nature and the divine. Then ask the rainbow rays to connect you to the fairy nature kingdom. You may start to notice sparkling lights around flowers. Talk to the fae and ask them to help you in any areas of your life where you need assistance, as they are great at manifesting. Say, divine intelligence, please allow me to connect to the fairy kingdom to awaken my vitality, aliveness, and divinity. I feel like this card literally touched on so many aspects of this reading. And again, really do focus on that manifestation for the eclipse. It's going to be a strong time for you to manifest. You do have a lot of fae energy. I know some of you are kind of like rolling your eyes at that, but it's like you have dragonfly, you have hummingbird. These are very fae-like animals. They are trying to help you connect to your magic and connect to nature, because that's going to be very healing to you. You are an earth sign, so that's very, very nourishing for you right now. I am not getting any more messages for you, Virgo. I do hope that this was helpful. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below what is going on for all of you. Be sure to support each other. I have all of those links for personal readings and Reiki sessions. They will be fully back up by the end of the week, so keep your eyes open for those. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Virgo.